Today, a judge ruled jurors will see some potentially disturbing crime scene photos in the trial of a man accused of dismembering his parents back in 2016. Joel Guy Jr. appeared in court this morning ahead of his trial later this month. The judge told prosecutors to black out sections of the photos that showed the victims, and a few will be excluded. But the judge said jurors must see other photos at the trial. Defense attorneys argued some of the images from the scene are so bad they will prejudice jurors from giving their client a fair trial.
What's up, everybody? I'm really sorry about the wait, man. It's been a minute. I was moving from one spot of the house to the other, and yeah, whatever. I don't want to make excuses. Sorry I'm late. I apologize. Thank you for waiting. Let me see who's in here. Man, got all my peeps up in this mother. Hold on. So we got Renee, we got Bang Bang Kiss Kiss 007. I want to officially welcome you to the Glare Mod team. I'm very proud of that choice, so thank you. Bill Jones, Jeanette S, Traveling Heart, Yolanda RN, Rosling, TCH, what is happening? Claire. All right. Caleb, my man. It has been a minute, dude. Nikki Evans, hello. That girl. The MJ302, Angie C. All right, man. If I missed you, I'm sorry. But okay. Listen, man. We got definitely a doozy here. This dude is something else, to say the least. It's really crazy because, first of all, it's in Knoxville, which is my current neck of the woods at the moment. And but this actually happened 4 years ago. This particular crime took place on right after Thanksgiving, between I believe that Friday or that Saturday, Black Friday and the following Saturday. And it's this dude is wacky as they come. I definitely I was reading, and I was every article that I read on this guy very almost atypical. And I don't know if you guys, now here's the thing, before I even get started, I want to say that Monday they will be broadcasting the first day of his trial. So depending on how this goes, if you guys are interested, I'll go ahead and stream it and talk and give my I don't want to say insight, because I don't know what the hell's going on as far as law goes. I don't know anything about it, but give my opinions or talk about what I'm seeing and whatnot. So hopefully we'll see what happens. It's up to you guys. But this thing happening here in Knoxville, man, first of all, when it happened, I had no plans whatsoever of moving here. I had absolutely no intention of it. I had no idea I would ever be here, which is kind of crazy. And on top of that, I never even thought of having a YouTube channel at the time, really. The thought never even crossed my mind, as far as I can remember. And the Glare principles were not even a thing for me. I had not thought of that stuff. And as a matter of fact, come to think of it, it was a really, really crazy, crazy time in my life. So 4 years ago, which doesn't seem that long. And it's crazy that this trial is just now starting. So to me, that's kind of wild, man. So now this guy, when we watch the trial, you're going to see what I'm talking about. And when you see that footage that I just showed, when you look at that footage, am I crazy, or is that dude a weird spitting image doppelganger of Megan Faramuska, the the woman who killed Heidi Broussard and stole her baby? The one that the Shane Carey thing. Now, it's crazy to me how much this dude looks like Megan Faramuska. Like, it's really, really weird. But anyway, I just thought that was kind of weird and kind of funny. This is the thing. You'll see me make a lot of light about this case, and it's not to minimize the crime. The crime is awful. As a matter of fact, it's disgusting and it's gruesome, and it is driven. The crime itself had to have been driven by pure hatred. But this guy merits getting made fun of. He's he's something special, man. This dude really, 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 really gets under my skin in every possible way. In every possible way. So the only way that I know how to handle that is to make fun of the guy. He's not doing anybody any more harm. It's tragic what he did to his parents, but he's not doing anybody any more harm. He's locked up. He's not getting out. And there's weird things about this case too, man. There's really weird aspects regarding this case. Things, the way it's being prosecuted to me is strange. So this guy, I'll get to that later. So first, we're going to talk about how at the time this guy was 28 years old. His name is Joel Guy Jr. And that Thanksgiving, him and I believe it's 3 sisters that he has, they all got together at Guy Sr., at Joel Sr.'s house and Lisa's house, his parents and the victims of this crime. Now, they all sat at their table in their house where the crime took place, and supposedly had a very pleasant Thanksgiving together. And now, according to his sisters, Joel Sr. was planning on basically cutting off Joel Jr. from any financial support, or at least limiting it to a great deal. So this guy was apparently he was completely and totally dependent financially on his parents at 28 years old. And at the time, he was a student at LSU and lived in Baton Rouge. Now, I'm going to give you one guess as to how Joel Jr.'s neighbors described him. If you guessed reclusive and quiet, yeah, you got it. I don't know what it is about these guys, man. I don't know what. Everybody always says the same thing about these dudes, that they're reclusive, quiet, that they're, he kind of kept to himself, I don't know. I didn't know much about him, because he really kept to himself. He's real quiet. Everybody always says that. They see that shit in fictional movies. So I find that really, really funny. So this guy, they have Thanksgiving dinner Thursday night, 2016, and supposedly it's pleasant, but supposedly at some point after the Thanksgiving, after everybody left or whatever, they were going to sit Joel Jr. down, and let him know that they were no longer going to support him financially. So apparently he stayed 3 days past the time that he was supposed to go back. So at least that's in something I read, but that for some reason doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Because he was arrested in Baton Rouge and the bodies were found that Sunday. So, and the reason why the bodies were even found was because there was a wellness check on the house when Lisa, Joel Jr.'s mother, did not show up for work. So the boss called the police and asked for a wellness check. And this is what wellness checks are for. This is a perfect example of what wellness checks are for. And this woman didn't show up for work, and her boss basically was like, send somebody over there. I'm guessing she's the type of person to have never called out or hardly ever did. And if she were to not show up for work, there's probably something wrong, especially if she doesn't call or let them know. So this guy automatically, obviously in the time frame that it took, felt the need to call in a wellness check to see if she was okay, because obviously not showing up for work in some way, shape, or form was not in Lisa's character. So the thing is, now, since I live in Knoxville, I told somebody, a member of my club, and I want to give them a shout out, Aaron, my man. He is a deputy he's an officer for the Knox County Sheriff's Department. And I told him about it, and he told me that he knew a guy that actually was there for the call. And apparently what happened was they heard a dog barking. When they got there, they went inside, they heard a dog barking that was locked into a room, and they found parts of Joel Sr. and Lisa. They were dismembered, and their parts were pretty much scattered around the house in various places, some stored in Tupperware. And Lisa's head was found boiling in a saucepan on the stove. So when you think about this now, apparently Joel Sr.'s body, he was stabbed, I think, 70 times. And Lisa was stabbed, I think, 30 times in the back and in the buttocks. And clearly there was a lot of anger here. There was a lot of rage here, considering that he took all the time. Now, apparently he made some sort of homemade solution, some sort of acidic homemade solution in order to attempt to dissolve the body parts and get rid of evidence. But here's the thing about this dude. When I said that everything about this dude just gets under my skin, this guy he kind of reminds me of myself. Maybe not as of recent, but he kind of reminds me of myself in the sense that, and the kind of, I wish I could go back in time and slap this dude in the face, but this guy is just a habitual underachiever. This dude this guy is just a pro at starting shit and not finishing it. Going through all this effort, right? Going through all this effort to try to get rid of evidence, but instead doing the opposite and leaving evidence everywhere. Not only that, but he also took photographs. If I'm understanding this correctly, he took photographs of the bodies and left the bodies at the crime scene. Now, I don't know what he was trying to do. Now, this guy maintains his innocence to this day. And he just recently filed a motion to the judge, and I'll actually read that. I'll read that. He filed a motion asking the judge to go ahead and just give him the death penalty or whatever. It's the most bizarre thing in the world. And if I think that he actually fired his defense team and plans on defending himself in court. This is, I mean, dude, hold on. Let me see if I can find that letter. That letter is here somewhere. I read it in this article. All right. So he writes to the judge. He says, in the event that I am eventually found guilty of first-degree murder, I contend that the waiver above, if permitted by the court, would free the court to sentence me to death, imprisonment for life without the possibility of parole, or imprisonment for life, in spite of the district attorney's general failure to satisfy the notice requirements of Rule 12.3b. Whatever that 12.3b is, I don't know. But here's the thing about this dude. Everything that I'm hearing about him is just some asshole with this crazy sense of entitlement that simply just wants to be taken care of. He just feels like he deserves to be taken care of. This is a guy who filed a motion to the judge basically saying, I don't ever want to see the light of day again. I don't ever. And the only logic that I can come to from that is that this guy genuinely is trying to somehow weasel his way out of meeting any responsibilities and having to take on the world and get a job and take care of himself. And he wants to put that on the state. Dude, look, man, this guy does everything half-ass. This guy does everything half-assed. And he actually has the balls to tell the judge, and I love this judge's name. This judge's name is Steve Sword. So this Judge Sword, is basically like, dude, you sure you want to do that? And honestly, there's really nothing I can do about it, because the prosecution supposedly is only seeking life with the possibility of parole, in the and parole be and that parole be what the fuck is the word? Whatever, possible, or whatever the fuck the word is. That he's eligible for parole in 51 years. So sorry about that brain fart there, but so this guy's sitting here thinking like 51 years from now, the hell am I gonna do? The hell am I gonna do? So he's like, nah, can you just like kill me? Can you just like kill me, or just keep me in prison for like the rest of my life, please? Like, I don't have a problem with it. That that to me is the most bizarre shit ever. I've never seen a level of not wanting to do shit with themselves this extreme. I've never seen that. I've never even heard of that. And I wonder if that was really his motive. I wonder if he like was like, well, shit, what the hell am I going to do? Who's going to pay my bills? Well, you know what? If I kill these two, I'll get locked up in prison, and you know, I won't have to worry about bills. I won't have to worry about getting a job. Like, I wonder, like, everything tells me that that's the case. That's how fucking bizarre this is. I don't. So, I'm tripping out on that. I'm tripping out on the fact that this guy is trying to like, he's trying to like fire his defense team. He's trying to fire his defense team, and he's trying to like defend himself. Now, we saw Ted Bundy do this, but the thing is Ted Bundy was a law student. So Ted Bundy being a law student, he actually impressed the judge to the point to where the judge was like, listen, you're guilty as fuck. You know, everybody here knows and sees right through that bullshit smile of yours. Everybody sees right through it. But I got to tell you, you did a pretty good job defending yourself in my court. I'm a little impressed. He took the moment to pretty much tell him that. Not in so many words, obviously, but I thought it was pretty funny that Ted Bundy actually had that type of charisma to the point to where he even impressed the judge. This guy doesn't have any charisma at all. Literally, the last word that would ever come to my mind to describe Joel Guy Jr. is charisma. This guy is like wallpaper. So I don't see this dude wooing a jury. I mean, so jury selection already took place. I think it took place Thursday. And this is going to be an interesting thing to watch, man. This is going to be an interesting thing to follow, because the thing is I asked some people in my group to do some sleuthing for me. And apparently, because I tried to get a hold of the arrest affidavit, obviously, but the arrest affidavit is supposedly sealed. So I can't get that. So all I could do is just pull up a bunch of articles, read them, and yeah. Now here's the thing. I want to talk about, again, I don't have the arrest affidavit, so I don't have all of the gruesome details, and I mean details, about facts about the actual crime scene. But the thing about the crime scene that we do know is that they dismembered the bodies, and I tried to find the report. I tried to find the article that had the actual solution, the ingredients of the solution that he made, that he was trying to make like a makeshift acid to dissolve their body parts. But the thing is that's what I'm thinking was actually boiling in the stove, because I mean, if it was just water, he would have had to have just left, you know. I mean, a pot of water is going to boil and then evaporate within what, an hour maybe. So I'm thinking that he had some sort of other solution that he was boiling her head in, and I don't know what. I mean, the thing is I can make fun of this guy all day, but when I think about poor Joel Sr. and Lisa, I think about how horrible, what a horrible way to die that is. Not just how they were killed, but the fact that it was their own son to do it. I can't even imagine loving someone, raising them, taking care of them until they're 28 years old, but at getting to a point where they're thinking, well, it's time for you to, at some point you got to leave the nest. And even though you're in Baton Rouge, we're still paying your bills, man. We don't know what the hell you're doing out there. Right? So it's not unreasonable in the slightest bit for this couple to say, you know what, it's time to let the kid fly, man. It's just throw him in the water and let him swim. So I'm thinking that this guy just murdered his parents because he didn't want to. His motive was a little bit deeper than just being angry. Now, here's the other thing about this. The other thing about this case is when you look at, there's some similarities to Edmund Kemper and how he killed his mother. But Edmund Kemper, as those of you who know serial killers, Edmund Kemper was someone who did this. He was the co-ed killer. He did this all the time, right? So, and that was his MO, is he would decapitate his victims and he would fornicate with their heads. And this guy, obviously, I don't think he did that. It doesn't say anywhere there where I read that he did that. But you know, to sever her head and then put it in a saucepan of some sort of acidic solution and set it to boil. I can't imagine what is going through someone's mind to do that. But when I was talking to my friend at my job, Aaron, the deputy for the sheriff's department, I was like, I mean, you're a cop, dude. Don't you think that like that's the makings of somebody who would have done this before? And he says, yeah, most definitely. He's like, totally. And he even, went as far as to say, I mean, or at least had he not been caught, the type of person that probably had a taste for it and then would have continued doing so. So this is a very, very twisted individual. I mean, we're looking at, but how far does laziness go to where you go out of your way and work hard to be lazy? Who works hard to be lazy? How is that even a thing? That's what I'm tripping out on. This guy went through all this trouble just so he wouldn't have to deal with any responsibilities. So he wouldn't have to take on any responsibilities. It's I'm gonna look over some other stuff here, man. I mean, he put their bodies in different rooms. Why? Like, there's the motivation of why he killed them in the first place. Also, I should note that I read that it was unlikely that he was a beneficiary in their life insurance. So money was not a motive, or at least not in the traditional sense of money being a motive when it comes to these domestic murders. So and they were in the process of incredible. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. So we're looking at this guy, and apparently his sisters were saying that they can't even imagine why he would do something like that. This guy supposedly has no history of mental illness. He doesn't have a record. He's just a guy. Doesn't do shit. Like, that's all he is. It's just some guy who doesn't do shit. And right now, he's actually going over his lawyers' heads and filing motions saying, just fucking give me the death penalty, man, or, just lock me up. I'm wondering, I don't know. I'm wondering if a jury, I mean, even the judge, okay, sorry about that. Even the judge is sitting here saying that even you filing this motion doesn't do anything, because I have no way of making the prosecution seek the death penalty, because that's what actually has to happen. The prosecution has to actually seek the death penalty or seek life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Claire, they were found the Sunday after Thanksgiving. It is believed that it took place between Friday and Saturday, the murder. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to look over chat because I think I've gone over everything that I have so far on this. Yeah, see, I don't know if I seriously, man, I don't know if the motive was actually to if the motive was just anger and revenge because they were cutting him off. I don't know about that. I think that he was like, well, shit, then I don't know what I'm going to do, so I might as well just go to prison where I'm going to be taken care of. I'm too young to go to an old folks home. So and old folks homes, man, they're not free, you know. I wonder if he sat around. And here's the thing, man, as I was talking about before, I mean, it happened 4 years ago. If he was suspected in anything else that was going on, either in the Knoxville area or the Baton Rouge area or the Louisiana area, if he was suspected of anything, I'm sure they would have tried to pin that on him. But the very, very, very bizarre thing about this case right now, as far as the prosecution of this case goes, is, to me, the strangest thing about it is him filing this motion, right? Him filing this motion, but the prosecution is not looking for the death penalty. Why are they not looking? I mean, this is Tennessee. Why are they not seeking the death penalty for this guy? That's what I find weird. But if I had to guess, now I am the furthest thing from a legal expert that there is, but if I had to guess, I'd say that there was something regarding evidence that they have. Maybe they just don't have enough evidence. If they try to go for the death penalty with the evidence that they have, there's a possibility that they'll lose, because he is pleading not guilty. He is maintaining his innocence. So I'm wondering if that's the case, if there's just some technicality where they feel like if they were to seek the death penalty, or they were to seek life without parole, that somehow they just don't have enough evidence for that, or they don't have the evidence that it would take to be able to get it, and they might be risking getting the whole case thrown out. I don't know if that's true. That's just some wild theory that is blasting through my head because I don't know dick about the law. So, but this dude, I can't imagine this guy ever being allowed to walk the streets again. Why? I mean, I get that he's okay. He's what, 32 now? So 32 years old, 51 years later. I mean, he's obviously, if he's still alive, he's going to be completely and totally useless. You know what I'm saying? I mean, completely useless. You know? So 50 years later, I mean, the guy's going to be totally, I mean, he's going to be in a walker. The guy's already out of shape. He's not living to 80. He's already out of shape, you know? I mean, but then again, you know, I'm not a doctor either, man. I'm not an expert on the elderly. Right. Hope Addis. Exactly. That's insane. What the fuck is going on with this guy, dude? And somebody tell me what's going on with his face. What is going on with this dude's face? I mean, he looks like a serial killer. If I saw that guy in a white van, I would want to pull my phone out and call 911 and then be like, shit, I don't have any like good reason to call. I can't just say there's a guy driving a van that looks like somebody who shouldn't be driving a van. Like, That's what he looks like to me. That's the best way I could describe that guy is, well, what does he look like? You know what? He looks like somebody that shouldn't be driving a van without windows. That's that. This guy is definitely fucking weird looking, man. Well, if I was a Karen, Caleb, I would actually make the call. I would actually say that. But since you can't, you just accept the fact that there's dudes driving around that look like they shouldn't be driving vans without windows, because there's probably somebody in it besides them, and you can't see them, and they can't see where they are. But why? I mean, so, and his parents were young too, to have 4 kids who I think are grown up. I don't know. But to have 4 kids. Now, the thing is what's really sad about this also, another really sad aspect of this is that was going to be the last holiday in that house. They had just gotten, they were going to move on to Joel Sr.'s late mother's property, which was about 90 miles away. And that was, but the thing was, yeah, it was going to be the last holiday in that house, but apparently the majority of the family was about to be a lot closer together. And the plan was to spend Christmas, the whole family, to spend Christmas together. And everyone was looking forward to it, man. It's a really, really sad thing. Yeah, he does kind of look like the Penguin from Batman, doesn't he, Claire? But the thing is about this guy, I mean, yeah. Can you imagine his family though? Can you imagine, like, apparently Joel Sr.'s sister was completely shocked at the actions of her nephew. She had no idea. She had no idea he was capable of it. Nowhere did I read anything about, well, he was, he was showing signs of anger and sometimes he would pop off, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing like that. There's nothing like that. This guy just often and stabbed his parents. And apparently the way it went down is Joel Sr. was home and he stabbed him to death. And then Lisa came home a little later and then he stabbed her. And the fact that she was stabbed in the back all those times just tells me that he just kind of snuck up on her. And he's a coward. I'm not going to overlook that. I refuse to overlook that part. This man is a coward. And he's a coward in every possible way that you can think of. From not having the guts to take on the world, take on a job, and find a productive place in society for himself, place himself in society in a productive manner. The fact that this man failed to do that and had no intentions of doing that tells me that he's a coward. So from that down to the actual last act of cowardice against his own mother, he stabs her in the back because he can't look her in the face, I'm imagining. He had to sneak up on her, probably. But why the hell is this guy not admitting? Because when they picked him up, supposedly he wouldn't talk to the cops at all. He just stonewalled them, right? This dude just straight up stonewalled the cops. He's pleading not guilty. And then now he's firing his defense team and he's trying to represent himself. And then he files a motion trying to get the judge to give him the death penalty or life imprisonment without parole. Yet he won't, of course, if convicted, it states. But why is he even thinking about that? Why is he even thinking about that if he's innocent? You know? Like, it's not even, we all know he's not innocent, but I'm saying, like, besides the fact that we all know that he's not innocent, he's not even making the slightest effort to try to convince anyone that he is. He's just straight up saying, I'm not admitting to that shit. Fuck you. I'm not going to make this easy for you. I'm going to make this as difficult. This guy was like he's like a pathological make life difficult for people. He's like, I wonder what that is. I wonder if there's a psychological term for a guy who pathologically makes life difficult for people. Like, he's a pathological pain in the ass. Just a burden. A pathological burden. Who I can't with this dude, man. I can't with this dude. Like, this dude is something else, man. I'm gonna follow this. I'm gonna follow this trial so closely. I got to see how he does. I mean, so now he's just gonna waste everyone's time with a trial. Think about that. This guy is he's just the most economically unviable person ever. This guy is just a complete and total pain in the wallet of everyone that he approaches. So now he's a taxpayer problem. Now this guy, instead of just being like, fuck it, instead of just being like, you know what, I did it. I mean, whatever. Do what you got to do. Like, instead of simply just admitting to it, he's got to make it as difficult for everyone as possible and completely and totally deny any responsibility and then drag us all through a fucking trial and expect us to sit there through all of his bullshit. Like, you know what that is, dude? That's like, you know what that reminds me of, man? That reminds me of somebody who let's say he just took a shit on the floor and then picked it up and smeared it all over the walls, right? And then somehow, like, there's a bunch of people now that have to clean it up, and then he just sits back eating chips while everybody cleans up the shit that he smeared all over the wall, and he just watches it happen. Like, yeah, that's totally what this guy reminds me of. That's totally just somebody who just completely gets off on just fucking with people's time and wasting it. I mean, what else? What other explanation could there be? What other explanation could there be for this guy going to trial? He's completely aware. He wrote that motion. He did the homework to find out what 12.2 C or B or whatever that was in Tennessee law. He took all that time to figure that out, right? So he could file this motion. So he's clearly competent. That's not even a question whether or not he's competent to stand trial. But it's not even a question whether or not he's competent to stand trial, but also he's clearly smart enough to know that he's wasting everyone's time with this trial. He's perfectly capable of processing that thought. Why the hell is this guy doing that? I mean, whatever, dude. It makes for content for my channel, and I'm gonna stream the trial because I mean I gotta know. I gotta know. I mean, and fuck that, I'm gonna get my money's worth. If my taxes are going to this shit, and they are because I live in Knoxville, if my taxes are going to this shit, you better believe I'm gonna watch it. You better believe I'm gonna get something out of it. What the hell is wrong with this dude? Yeah, Renee, that's what I think. I think he's amused by it all. I think he gets off on it. I think, like I said, he is a pathological burden. He just gets off on being a burden. He gets off on just like being somebody's boil on their ass. What does it matter if he's lonely or not, though? I mean, apparently he's always been lonely. He's always, I mean, dude, listen, if you're out in the real world, man, if you're out in the real world, dude, you know what I'm saying? You're lonely. That's your own fault. That's your own fault. You know, like you can't complain about being lonely if you have the means to involve yourself in social situations, you know, at the very least, a professional situation. You know, maybe he had social anxiety, whatever, maybe. But I mean, I've heard that you can even collect disability for that. Now, I don't have the respect for anyone who does that because I get socially anxious. I still got to go to work. I still got bills to pay. Right? So I don't know who the hell this guy thinks he is. I mean, I'm here in Knoxville. I doubt I could ever get an interview with this guy, but it would be nice. It would be nice because I'd love to get through his head. I'd love to see like what's his reasoning for any of this. Because he's not crazy. He's not crazy. He knows what he's doing. But I mean, this guy is like, he's a pro underachiever. He is a lifelong pro underachiever. To the point to where like he went through all that effort. He went and he concocted this chemical, he got all these chemicals and mixed them together because he thought that was gonna dissolve their bodies. He took the time to cut them up. Right? I mean, that's hard work, dude. That's hard work. I could never be a killer. Even no matter how angry I am, I could never be a killer, dude. I'm not doing any of that shit for free. I would never put myself through that much work. That's crazy. I mean, yeah, like I lift and I'm not lazy when I work out, you know, but I'm not, dude, that's too much cleaning up. I mean, dude, you leave the slightest speck of DNA. And I mean, I'm too lazy to even walk around with that in my head that I did something like that to somebody. I can't carry that with me. I can't carry that and carry that secret with me where I'd have to lie about it all the time and have a straight story. And I just don't have that in me, man. Like, but how does a person that lazy go through that much trouble, right, in the first place? And if he's, but the funniest thing, the craziest and funniest thing to me is that in the end of the day, He's lazy. Like he can't not fail. Like who goes through all that trouble to cut up their bodies and leave them in Tupperware and just leave it around the house and then drive back home to Louisiana, and nobody's gonna think nobody's gonna think that he had something to do with it. Nobody's gonna miss Joel Sr. Nobody's going to think there's something wrong with the fact that nobody's heard from Joel Sr. and Lisa. They were pretty young. I was going to say earlier, I forgot to say how old they were. Joel Sr. was 61 years old, and Lisa was 55. So they had, 55 years old, 28 years old son. So they were they were they were fairly a young Twilight couple, put it that way. Does that mean? I mean, that's fair to say, right? They're definitely older, but for an older couple, they were definitely on the younger side, is what I mean. They still had plenty of things to do. They had plenty of life in them. They had plenty of holidays. This is the beginning of when they should be looking at retirement. Lisa wasn't even retired yet. She had a job. So, I mean, they had all those retirement years to look forward to still. So, yeah, man. You know what I'm gonna do? I was gonna do this. If anybody wants to call in and talk about this, we can do that. So I just dropped the link there. So if anybody wants to call in, but yeah, I'm blown away by this case, and I remember reading about it when it happened. But yeah, I totally remember reading about it when it happened, and I thought it was kind of crazy, but I didn't know that much about it. I didn't look that much into it. And for 4 years later, for this thing to come up 4 years later, and now the trial is just now starting. I mean, that's crazy. Who knows how long we're gonna see? I mean, how long is it gonna take for Letitia Stock to go to trial? How long is that gonna take? But wow, so nobody wants to call in. Lufa, you're drunk? Lufa, you're drunk? Really? I mean, it's Saturday night, people. I would imagine that you're drunk. I mean, yeah, on average, Emily, Shannon, I feel like on average it's like a year or so, usually, or at least it feels that way. I don't know. Yeah, Vanessa. Yeah, I did a lot of talking about that case on this channel. I definitely did. Uh and I really yeah, you know, they're definitely going to throw the book at her. Mandy Bella, you can call now. You know who I wish would come up here is Caleb. I wish Caleb would come up here, but I know he won't. Um, yeah, this this guy. I mean, I expect this trial. The thing is, this trial, what's going to happen is a lot of. It's weird. The arrest affidavit is sealed, apparently. I'm sure autopsy reports are probably sealed too. I just started looking into this case, so I just wanted to talk about it. So I'm sorry about it being all spotty and whatever. But I'm definitely going to go deep into this. And true crime is just something that I'm kind of into. I'm not very good at covering it. I just like talking about it. So and at this point, like I used to be really big on saying this isn't a true crime channel. This isn't a true crime channel, but I talk about it a lot, and I talk about it enough to where it's fair to say that it is. I guess I don't know, but it's definitely not exclusively a true crime channel. And for those of you who've been following me for a while, my buddy Colton Harris Moore, man, he texted me out of the blue a couple days ago just to say hi. That was really, really cool. I was glad to hear from him. He's the same, just hustling and hustling and hustling, man. That's all he's doing, just working and hustling, man. You gotta love that guy. You gotta absolutely love that guy. Oh, thanks, that girl. Yeah, so that girl, you'll see that girl and whoever else drops my PayPal in the link. So if you want to show a little love in the fashion of a little cash, I'm not gonna be mad at you for it. It's nice, but I'm just glad that you're showing love in the chat. From California, Vanessa. From California. I like that. I've never heard that before. And I appreciate that. Yeah, man. I've got a lot of good feedback from the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff that I did. Somebody sent me another video that actually has some more footage, and all it does is prove even more. All it does is prove even more that it was self-defense. Like, it shows another shot. He was shot at first by somebody else. So, I mean, I don't know what it is. I don't know why people are like, and why does it make you so mad? Why does it make you so mad? I get people being mad about George Floyd. I get people being mad about Breonna Taylor. I get all that. But why does it make you mad for anybody to say that this kid defended himself? And I mean, I'm just speaking technically. I'm not even vouching for his character. Now, I guess I did, well, based on what I saw. I mean, he was this kid, this guy volunteered to do like a junior police thing when he was like 15 or 16. Um, I mean, he's not a bad kid. Why does it make everyone so mad to say that he's not a bad kid? What's the problem with that? I mean, every single person that he shot was coming after him. There was a mob chasing this dude. And people are saying, oh, there was a mob chasing him because, he just shot somebody. But he just shot somebody that was chasing him. Hey, Julie Witcherman, thank you. I don't think so, Bite Me. See, I don't think so. He's not going to be made an example of anything. Hopefully not. I mean, if he is, then the system is rigged because there's an abundance of video proof that he acted in self-defense. There's no way, if the burden of proof is on the prosecution, there's no way that his defense, which he's raised a ton of money for a good defense team, first of all. So what's going on in chat, man? Hey, listen, if somebody's being a troll in the chat, okay, yeah, that's whatever. Time people out for stuff like that. But if they're just being mean, if they're just being mean and shitty about something, then, boot them. But yeah, if they're just being silly and disruptive in the chat, yeah, you could time them out. I don't need those kind of comments. It's flattering, I guess, kind of, maybe. I don't know. Thanks. But it's really not, it doesn't contribute anything to what we're talking about here. So, I mean, when you sit there and harp on dumb shit like that, it's kind of stupid. It makes you look kind of stupid, and it stains my chat, and I don't appreciate it, to be perfectly honest. I prefer that you contribute something productive to the chat. You can say whatever you want, I guess, but I prefer that you, like I said, try to be productive. Yes, Lufa, you're behaving. You're always behaving, Lufa. You're too awesome for me to ever get mad at you for anything. Well, yeah, I mean, Angela Dawn, he was charged with first-degree murder. But right, there's just so much overwhelming footage of him being attacked. I went over that footage like second by second, more than once. I did 2 live streams about it. I did 2 of them. One of them got taken down. I don't know why. I wonder why, but I don't know why. And it might have something to do with why I'm not being monetized right now. I don't know why. But for some reason, I have sent out for that PIN number several times and still have not gotten it. So I love you too, Lufa. And the Breonna Taylor thing, man, I'm not going to discuss that here, at least not now, because I honestly don't know enough. I don't want to say anything wrong about it. I don't want to give any misinformation, because the truth is I don't have enough information on it. I know a few things here and there, but I don't know things to be for fact And for a subject that's sensitive, I think it would be really disrespectful to the people that feel very strongly about it to discuss it on here without knowing much about it. So I'm not going to even touch that. And that is simply out of respect for those, like I said, who feel as strongly as they do about it. Oh, so I can contact them through Twitter, maybe. I will try that. Thank you, Renee. I will try that. I will definitely try that. And yeah, well, I don't see any reason to have to block anybody either, Rosling, right now. Everybody's just, I want people to have a good time in the chat. That's what the glare is all about, man. It's supposed to have a good time. Even when we talk about difficult things, we find a way to have a good time. And we find a way to have a good time to where it's okay for us to have a good time. So I like that. I sure hope it helps too, Renee. But I mean, I've still got the PayPal thing, so that's cool too. Again, dude, like I said, guys, I mean, if I was doing this for money, I wouldn't even be doing it. Like, I don't ever see any money, so half the time I come on, my mods who actually drop the PayPal link sometimes don't even make it. So it's like it's not even a big deal. I just dig hanging out with you guys. It's good to be back to my old setup. And so right now I'm just kind of having a nice time with you guys. Dude, Ace is Heidi, right? Am I crazy or what? Dude, am I crazy? Or dude, like, why does Joel Guy Jr. look exactly like Megan Faramuska? What in the hell is going on with that? Yeah, see, that's crazy to me. I can't believe that. And shout out to my man Duty Ron too, man. Like he's I love that guy, man. He's always got such a good heart when he's going live. I don't really agree with him much on the Morphew case. But I love where he's coming from and I respect it. So but I yeah. So if you guys aren't subscribed to Duty Ron, man, subscribe to Duty Ron. He's a retired NYPD detective. So he does some yeah, Lynn, I see you in his chat all the time. But yeah, I really enjoy hanging out in his chat. And his channel's just really pleasant. And you can tell he's one of the good ones, he's a guy who really took his job. To say he took it seriously would be an understatement. To say that he genuinely loved it, and he's an example of one of those police officers that it wasn't just a job to them. Like when you're an NYPD police detective, you are that. That is what you are. That is who you are. It's not just a job you do. And you can very much tell that just in the way that he speaks to you. And I really, really enjoy listening to that. And I think that he has a couple of officers or former officers as his moderators too, and they're really cool, and they're really his mod team is really, really kind and really cool in the chat, and I really enjoy being a part of it. Yeah, man. No matter what, we're always going to try to have a nice time here, man. Yes, the duty bond is awesome. Well, I feel like Caleb, yeah, I know, right? You always want more, you know, that's a good thing. But sometimes, man, just keeping them short, yeah, that's great. I mean, dude, I can't do that. I can't drone on and on anymore for like 3 to 5 hours, dude. Like I just can't. It's not in me to do that, man. You know? I just, yeah, I like to just come in, hang out a little bit, you know, and once I've pretty much said what I was going to say about something, then I leave it at that. And then I just hang out with you guys. It doesn't take me long. It doesn't take me long to say what I'm going to say. And it even takes me longer than it should because I'm, you know, basically saying duh between every word because I can't fucking talk. But you know, I'm not I'm not doing that, man. I'm not gonna sit here for like 3 or 4 or 5 hours just running my fucking mouth saying the same thing over and over again. But Will is a one nut guy. Okay. Well, Vanessa, I am really glad that you are here and welcome. I'm really hoping you're enjoying the channel. I'm really hoping that you're enjoying the chat. Like everybody that's in the chat right now is pretty much always here. So and we have a good time, man. That's what it is, you know, that's what it's always been about to me. That's what it's always going to be about to me as far as I can help it, man. You know, I'm definitely not, you know, I'm not Annie. You know, Annie is just like she was born to do this, dude. Like she just got up here and just started she does her research and then she just goes through it, man, without skipping a beat. She's a ninja when it comes to true crime live streams, man. It's amazing. And it's exciting to watch her grow as a creator and be a part of her team to do that. It's very, very exciting. She's extremely talented. And I don't know. I tossed an idea at her yesterday about something in text after her premiere that she did on the Morphew case. She said she was down to do it, but right now I'm like, I don't know if I'm down for that. But we're, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I'm sure that her and I will end up collaborating on something at some point. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, Claire, I completely agree with you. She is a extremely talented creator, and and people are just jealous of that. Somebody straight up told at me. They were like at me saying there's no way that she could have gotten so many subscribers so fast, legitimately. And I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, how do you, like pay for subscribers, like bots? Okay. All right. So, all right. Let's say she did that, but how did she have 11,000 people in her chat when I was on there? 11,000 people, dude. Like, I'm telling, I was scared out of my mind. But she was like, to her, it was just like, whatever. Even though she's like way newer at this than I am, she was just like, it's whatever, It's not going to stop her from doing whatever she's going to do. It's not going to distract her from doing whatever she's going to do. And I have a lot of respect for her as a creator because she's just doing exactly what she came on here in the first place to do. And people are like hating on her because she's doing that and she's not doing what they're doing. And I'm wondering, like, let's let me go ahead while I'm up here and let me ask those creators, like, if you're clearly doing something different than what she's doing and she's successful at what she's doing, wouldn't it be more productive to try to maybe do things the way that she does them? And maybe you would have the success that you're somehow complaining about. I mean, what good does that do? Is to complain about another creator's success? What good does that do? How is that fulfilling to you? That's what I don't understand. I mean, and people are saying that she's doing dirty things. I don't think so at all. Or that she's doing it for money. I happen to know for a fact that that's not the case. I mean, does she collect super chats? Yeah. But guess what? Every one of you motherfuckers out there that are trashing her for what she's doing, you're collecting super chats for trashing her for what she's doing. So, I don't know. I just feel like a little self-awareness probably be real good, for some of these other creators, man, that and I'm not even shitting on their content. There's stuff I look at it, I watch it, like, and I'm like, you know what, that's just not for me. I'm just not interested in listening to someone call a 10-year-old girl a liar, and make allusions that imply some sort of inappropriate relationship that she has with her father. I think that's disgusting. And it's bottom feeder shit. To me, it's bottom feeder shit. But that's how you get your super chats and that's how you get your views and your clicks. That's cool. Fine. It's just not for me. But on top of doing that, you're shitting on someone for actually putting out information that just simply is provided to her from a reliable source. Somehow or another, she's the villain for that. That doesn't make any sense to me. So, I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. That's just my opinion on it. Again, I mean, to me, it's not even a question of, do you agree with this side or do you agree with that side? I don't even think about any of that shit anymore, man. I really don't. I don't think about that case. Information is still shared with me and I find it interesting, but the only thing that I'm interested in is that if a little girl was hurt in the way that she is claiming, then someone needs to listen to her. Someone needs to advocate for her, and she needs to have justice, and she needs to be protected. And we need things to change for the better within our system if we're going to help prevent these things from happening to other children. And that's a very, very important thing to me. That's something I'm very passionate about. And that's something that I can honestly say that Annie is very passionate about. So I'm not going to for me personally, again, beyond that, it's a personal family issue. That's it. You know, I don't care about the drama of a couple who's no longer together slinging mud at each other. It's not my business. I don't care about any of that. But I realize that, you know, that it's tea. You know, I get that, and I get a lot of people love the tea. It's not for me. That doesn't concern me. So, you know, oh man, it's this asshole. You know what? Yeah, you're gone. Yeah, this person this person left. I just totally booted this person out of the chat because this person left stupid comments. And that's the thing, is you can leave all the comments that you want. You know, sometimes I might delete the comments, sometimes I don't. But a lot of the times I find the comments pretty humorous. People leave most ridiculously stupid adolescent, not even adolescent, like childish comments, like toddler level comments. And I'm just like, wow, that's a grown up. That is a grown up. What are you doing? You're telling me that you don't have anything better to do than to leave that kind of comment on my videos or on my community posts. Yo, what? All right. So that's where I stand on that, you know, and as long as Annie gets updates on this case, you know, I mean, she's gonna fill you in on the updates. Period. I mean, that's the thing. When you have like you gotta think when you look at the content of these creators. To me, right there, that speaks volumes on their credibility, right? So when you have creators who are known for tea and spreading tea, which is what the kids call gossip nowadays, right? It's basically a gossip channel, right? And a channel that's just totally opinionated, right? When you have these types of channels, why would you think that information coming from those types of channels would be credible at all? Why would you not think that the information coming from a creator who is directly in contact with someone who is as immersed in that case as possibly that they could be, a direct subject of that case, this is where she's getting her information from, A, and B, a fact-driven true crime creator. Raw, and that's it. Plain and simple. Why? I don't understand. Why? Like, if I'm hiring somebody for a job, right? And I sit down and I interview people, and your job is to provide me with facts. I'm counting on you to be my source for facts. And then they come to me, and on their resume, they say that they talk about reality television shows. And then another one basically just has nothing but history of purposely making content to get people to hate them and then complain about people hating them. I can't figure that out. But it's clear that this person is very intelligent, and then they're just getting people to hate them. Well, that's not going to be credible to me. That type of information coming from that is not going to be credible to me when I have someone else who interviewed for my job who is purely fact-driven, has a resume of God knows how many live streams or premiere videos that are just facts with a dash of opinion. So and that's why I'm a proud moderator for that person. That's it. Whether I agree with their involvement or not, whether I agree with how they see it, whether I mean, you know, which I'm not going to sit here and tell you where I am on that anymore. I'm not going to discuss that case anymore because, like I said, to me, it's a personal family issue. But the fact is I'm always going to defend someone who is fact-driven and in it for the right reasons. And I happen to know that Annie is doing this for pure and good-hearted reasons. I know this for a fact. There's not even a question in my mind about it. That girl, and I am proud to have you on as one of my moderators. Thank you. So guys, I am going to call it. I really had a nice time tonight. I realized it took me a while to get set up. I'm a little rusty. You guys know I usually do at least a couple of these a week. And my situation has been kind of weird here at home. Happy, everything's good. Just the actual living conditions have been kind of transitioning back and forth to certain things because of things happening in the home. So hopefully my mind won't be so scattered around everywhere as I'm trying to focus on something, and I'll be able to give you guys a lot more attention and give you guys a lot more straightforward insight. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I had a good time talking to you guys, as I always do. And thank you so much. Raging Nightwolf. Dang. Yeah, sorry you missed it. I've been on for an hour and a half, dude. Sorry. But anyway, I really love you guys, and I really appreciate you guys. So thank you so much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends.